have three. Economic development of an Indian reserve is something we'd all like to see, but not when it damages our environment and our agricultural lands.
I'm going to be brief this afternoon, but there is one point I want to make, and I just want to commend, before I do start my remarks, Councillor Huntington for the marvelous job she did in laying out the legislative and political sleight of hands that are ongoing that allowed this project to get as far as it did. Vicki was just a great job. The real issue in all of this for me, and like Vicki, I'm not anti-business at all, and I don't think most of you are in here. We all have to work, and we all need jobs, and we want jobs for our kids. But the question is, how do you do it? And just recently, in fact last week, folks from Delta Port, the Vancouver Port Corporation that is, and the Fraser River Port Corporation were in Ottawa and making a pitch for continued growth at these ports. And what was interesting about the deck that they presented to us, who they were making their pitch to, was that all it talked about was growing the business. Nowhere in the deck did it talk about the impact on our communities. Nowhere. And I thought, that's significant, because that's the problem here. No one's talking about what the impact is going to be on our community. In fact, I was in Abbotsford just last week. Go there now and look at the quality of the air, and you can see it. It's terrible. And you can imagine if this growth continues without us taking a careful look at how it goes ahead, the bad air that's common in Abbotsford is going to be moving down this valley, and we'll all be choking with it. It'll look like Los Angeles. It'll look like Long Beach. That's what we're going to end up with.
Now, often, when someone wants to make a criticism about what we're doing, for instance, people in Vancouver, they have no understanding but what it's really like south of the Fraser. And that can be a valid criticism unless you actually do have a sense of how frustrating it can be to try and get across the Port Van Bridge, to be stuck in the traffic. Those people aren't kidding us. That's true. And there's no way that the message is going to get across unless that's understood and there's a response to it. I think there can be. And the tragedy of Gateway is not that it's going to give those people the choice that they need. It's going to take it away.
That's right.
You've heard from Larry that there's no example that he knows of where anyone has built their way out of congestion by building more roads. Right. And the one question you've got to ask anybody who makes that argument is what model? No, not what model. I'll tell you other things. What place do you want us to be more like? Where can you point to that you think the Lower Mainland, south of the Fraser, north of the Fraser, should be more like, that solve that problem? And then ask them if that's the place they really want to be.
Then go there.
Well, you don't have to go very far to see the futility of it. May I recommend West Vancouver? I don't know if you've heard about this. This report just came out. It hasn't been covered by the press, at least in Vancouver. It's on the North Shore. You know what's happened?
No.
Well, the NLA there, concerned for his citizens about congestion on the Lions Gate Bridge. Had some sympathy for that too. So we asked the Ministry of Transportation and Highways, the people who are bringing you Gateway, to see if something could be done about it. They just got the report. Guess what it says? I can put it in 3 words. We are screwed. Now, they don't put it quite like that in the report, but that's what it comes down to, because they say after studying this, I'm looking at 20 different options, there's not much that we can do. Congestion is going to quadruple. And even if we spend $100 or $200 or $300 million, it's just going to fill up. Now, the MLA was kind of shocked. He said, gosh, I guess I thought for $1 million they would come up with some solutions. All I can say is that the MLAs on the government side who are supporting Gateway should ask for those reports now so they don't get surprised, like the MLA for West Vancouver, Howe Sound. So I guarantee you, if Gateway goes ahead, those 4 people who are stuck in the traffic are still going to be stuck in the traffic. And the big lie that greenhouse gases is somehow going to diminish is based on the premise, only this premise, that any time the traffic gets stuck, we're going to build more roads. I'm just going to pause. I want to just register that again. The whole environmental premise for Gateway at this point is greenhouse gases are going to go down and pollution will be reduced because the traffic is going to be moving. That can only be true if they never allow congestion to occur again. And because there's no example of that happening, the only basis is that we will build more bridges and more tunnels and widen more roads whenever the traffic looks like it's going to congest, and we will be right back where we started, only we will have lost the most important thing that we have. Any hope that we will be a different place, different from everywhere else that has screwed it up.
Yeah. Why are we against Gateway? Why does the Green Party stand against Gateway? And why are you against Gateway? Well, we're not negative people. We're not no and naysayers and gee, it's our backyard. We want something more positive. Well, we are against Gateway because you know what? Number 1, climate change. Did you read the Sun this morning? Did you see the headline? Climate change chaos closer. Gateway brings climate change chaos closer. That's why we're against Gateway. Number 2, we're against Gateway because it's not good for people. People want solutions to the traffic problems out there and the gridlock out there. Well, let me tell you, I attended all those Gateway public open houses and read all those beautiful poster boards they put up, and buried in the fine print was in fact the fact that unless other traffic measures were used like tolls, unless that happens, Gateway will lead to complete gridlocks again in less than 7 years. So we are talking $7 billion of taxpayer money so that within 7 years we get 8 lanes of gridlock instead of 4. This is insanity. It is absolutely not a solution to the transit problems. That money should go instead, every penny of it, into improving our public transit system so that they are affordable, they are convenient, they are safe. And the 5th and final reason the Green Party says no to Gateway is because it has been a sham of democracy.
That's right.
In terms of this process. There has not been any real consultation. As I said, I attended all those meetings. Not once did they ask anybody, do you want this program? But we do want something. I bet you all want the same thing I do, and in fact the same thing most sane people would want. Don't we really all want better air quality?
Yes.
Don't we want fewer cars on the road? Don't we want a world-class public transit system? Don't we want safe environments, marine and otherwise? Okay, we want all that, and I bet you want politicians who will listen to you.
That's right.